Welcome to The Explainer. Tonight, I want you to get comfortable, maybe turn the lights down a bit, and join me in exploring what is honestly a profound philosophical mystery. We're going to look at the loss of our most primal instinct. It's something that completely defines us, yet for so many of us, it's just quietly slipping away.
Okay, let's just dive right into this with a seemingly simple question. When was the last time you played? And I want to be very, very specific about this. I don't mean the last time you watched a football game. I don't mean the last time you played a quick video game on your phone. And I certainly do not mean doing an activity for self-improvement or to make money. I mean purely, truly playing, just for the absolute joy of doing it. You know, exactly like a child does.
It's one of those late night realizations. You're lying in bed, staring up at the ceiling, thinking about it. And for most adults, answering that simple question is surprisingly almost painfully difficult. The last time you truly played was probably years ago. And that is a really strange paradox, because for almost all of human history, play wasn't just something children did before they grew up and got serious. Play was something humans did. Every single human of every age and every single culture. And losing this instinct? Well, it might have changed us on a fundamental level.
Section 1. A biological human necessity.
Picture this. Imagine a human living 30,000 years ago. No smartphones, no internet, no television, no books, obviously no electricity. They lived in a harsh, unforgiving world where literally every single day was this intense physical struggle just to survive. Yet, even in that brutal environment, when the essential work of gathering food and finding shelter ended, our ancestors didn't just shut down to conserve energy. And we know this because of what we keep digging out of the ground. Archaeologists keep finding these completely unexpected discoveries. I'm talking about toys, flutes, game pieces, carved figurines. These are objects that served absolutely no physical survival purpose whatsoever. Think about that for a second. Humans who were desperately struggling to find their next meal still spent their precious time and energy making things simply for amusement. Why? Well, because play wasn't a luxury. It was a core biological necessity. In fact, we play longer than any other animal on Earth. And that brilliantly illustrates what play actually is. We really need to stop viewing things like building sandcastles or pretending sticks or swords as pointless, childish activities. Science tells us that children aren't wasting time at all. They are running complex simulations. Play is literally nature's training program. Every game is practice for reality. When kids play house, they are hardwiring social behavior. When they play hide and seek, they're developing real-time strategy. Imaginary worlds teach imagination. It is an absolutely crucial evolutionary tool, and for hundreds of thousands of years, it worked perfectly.
Section 2. Play versus entertainment. So here's where we see a massive structural shift in human behavior. It comes down to this. Play requires participation. Entertainment only requires attention. One creates and the other consumes. For most of our history, if you wanted to have fun, you had to actively make it yourself. You sang, you danced, you told stories around a fire, you invented games with your friends. Today, fun arrives through a glowing screen. It's ready-made, it's effortless, and it's instant. And look, while entertainment is certainly enjoyable, it activates the brain in a completely different way. Active play exercises our creativity, while passive entertainment, well, it often completely replaces it.
Section 3. The extinction of boredom. Now, for thousands of generations, boredom was just unavoidable. You waited, you walked, you watching the fire or looking up at the stars. And during those quiet, unoccupied moments, the brain did something incredibly vital. It wandered. Humanity's greatest ideas didn't emerge while working frantically or while scrolling through a feed. They emerged while doing absolutely nothing. Today, we can eliminate boredom in seconds just by reaching into our pockets. So for the first time in human history, we are experiencing the complete erasure of unoccupied thought. And the scary truth is, nobody knows the long-term consequences of this simply because we have never, ever lived this way before.
Section 4. The neuroscience of play. To really ground this, we can look at some incredible rad experiments. Neuroscientists discovered that play actively engages networks in the brain associated with learning, creativity, emotional regulation, and social bonding. When young mammals were deprived of play, the results were intense. They struggled to adapt to unexpected situations later in life. They became less flexible, way less resilient, and far less capable of solving problems. And the exact same pattern appears in humans. Play deprivation literally destroys adaptability, and adaptability is arguably the single most important survival skill we have ever developed. So play doesn't oppose work. It actually prepares us for it.
Section 5, Reclaiming the Pointless.
You know, somewhere along the way to adulthood, a lot of us buy into this false belief that seriousness equals maturity. We start thinking that every single activity needs a measurable, productive outcome. But we are actually looking at the exact opposite of that rigid mindset here. We are translating play directly into human creativity. Think about the things we admire most as a species: art, music, comedy, scientific innovation, massive discoveries. These rarely start in a highly structured, pressurized environment. No, they begin in play. A scientist playing with ideas, an inventor playing with possibilities, a musician playing with sounds. I mean, we literally still use the phrase playing music. Adult play is the absolute foundation of sophisticated human creativity.
Which brings us to a really powerful realization. Quote, "We spend years teaching children to become adults, but the happiest adults often spend their lives rediscovering what children knew all along." That is such a beautiful, poignant summary of our journey today. Your instinct to play isn't gone. Actually, scratch that. It's just buried. It's buried under schedules, deadlines, notifications, and adult responsibilities. Play is what helped build civilization, long before schools or governments or written languages even existed. Through play, we learn to cooperate, compete, and imagine futures that didn't yet exist. It is what connects us, and fundamentally, it's what makes us human. So tonight, after the lights are off and the room is quiet, I really want you to reflect on your own life. Give yourself permission to do something completely pointless this week, because not everything valuable needs a productive purpose. Sometimes the point of play